Okay. Setting it up. We are live. Meeting's now live. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Healthy,
Good
holy.
morning.
Hi, Tam. We have Tam joining us today on Morning Coffee. I'm super excited. In Tam's own words, she says, well, I always call you Tam, but her name is Tamellia, but she says everyone calls her Tam. She is almost, this is her words, not mine, 42 years old. She looks great. And she has grown the most over the last 5 years. She says that she is sometimes truly funny, at least that's what other people say, and she is. She is a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, or a sis. She is simply herself. She's her. She's Tam. She is me, is what she says. So you have to check her bio out on my page. All right, Tam. How are you?
All right. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for joining us on Morning Coffee. So I met Tam, has it only been a year and a half ago?
Yes.
I always want to say like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, but here we are. We met in a program called She Leads, and it definitely started off as, a program of women coming together, supporting one another, and then it developed into a friendship over time. And here we are, and it definitely feels like more than a year and a half. I still don't believe it, but that's what they say, and when they do the math, it's right. So I don't know how that's possible. So during that time, during our friendship, we have both developed and grown, and it's been great. And you are such a great candidate. Most people are, as long as they believe in themselves, to tell us more about what healthy, healed, and whole means to you. So I am going to stop talking, and I'm going to drink my coffee, and I'm going to let you take over. Please share with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So what healthy means to me, and I really will say that I learned this in my adult life, possibly within the last 5 years, what healthy means, because growing up, all you heard was healthy is make sure you're exercising and make sure you're eating a balanced meal or whatever that means, right? So I had to learn, I did learn in the past 5 years, healthy is not just food and activity. Like there's so many different elements within yourself that you have to make sure that you are healthy in spiritually, in your relationships, mentally. So that is something that I did learn over the course of the past 5 years, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the credit. It was after we met and, going through your habits and lifestyles. That's when I started looking more into, okay, well, what is a healthier habit? So I know you're going to tell me no, but I will attribute that's a part of the growth that I had in this aspect, because I never knew, other than food and other than activity, what healthy was. So that's the healthy piece. You have to make sure you're balanced. And I'm going to kind of tie that into whole as well. So as well as whole is piggybacking off of healthy. I can't just be full nutritionally, but I'm empty spiritually, mentally, in my relationships, in that aspect. So for a whole, that means making sure I am equally feeding all of the parts of me that make me Tam. So that's my healthy and my whole. I didn't know what this was coming through. So when I got here I'm going to start telling my story here, and then I'll get to the healed part. I came here because I was going through a divorce, and I felt, okay, if I'm leaving, I'm really leaving. So I left from South and I came all the way to the West Coast. To me, that was the start of my healing, but now I know different. Like I had to do a lot of work on myself, in all aspects, and not forgetting about my family. So I still had to be, as I was saying, I had to be a daughter, a mother, a sis, a sister, a friend, but I had to find who I was after going through that part of my broken life to be able to share with the world who Tam is. And that's why I'm here today. So 2 years went by, things were still rocky between me and, at that time, he was only my kid's dad, didn't even say his name, because I was not whole enough and I didn't have that growth to be able to put that behind me, not let that suck me into a dark tunnel or the ground opening up. So I had to, okay, stop, take a step back, climb out of this hole, and then focus on each portion. Couldn't do it all at once, because once you try to do everything at once, you're missing something. So I had to mentally grow, become healthy, become whole. Then I had to spiritually grow, become healthy, become whole. Then I started back on relationships. But the first relationship I had to build was with myself. Then I didn't know any of this until the past 5 years. I'm like, I had that aha moment.
Yeah.
So needless to say, with the healing part is making sure that you take care of in every broken part of yourself and within your life. So that could be me eating, activity, your lifestyle, togetherness, whether that's with friends, with family, with yourself. Like, you have to make sure you're taking self-care. You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself before you can offer anything up to any of those other aspects of your life, whether it's work, your friends, like my children. Like, I had to learn how to do a lot of stuff over because Tam was putting herself back together. And at that moment, the universe was cracked and broken into 1,000 pieces, I can honestly say. So I had to pull all of those different pieces so I could become a healthier, healed, and whole mom, sister, friend, Tam, just in general. So after going through all of that, working on myself, continuously working on myself, because you can never stop. They say once you stop learning, you stop growing. So continuing to crave growth. And it's funny because sometimes out of the blue, I'll be thinking about something and she'll call or she'll text. And it's like, it's so funny how that we're growing in the same direction, even though our paths are different. Even back home, like, people will call out of the blue and I'm like, we still got that connection. So I know going through this journey, it is going to be a continuous journey, but I now can say that I absolutely, truly feel that I am healthy, healed, and whole. And it takes work. It takes constant work to make sure, just because I'm here, I can't let any of what I had to do to get here lapse in any part. No part of it, because it's going to take continuous work. As soon as I say, okay, well, I'm good physically, then I start focusing more on spiritual. Spiritual is always going to be the foundation. Everything is going to be the foundation. Once I got that right, everything else seems to fall into place. But you can't just focus on one portion as you meet that goal of being whole, because that's the end goal. You go through the healthy phase, then you go through the healing, and the healing can take time, because you can't just heal in one thing. I couldn't just heal from that broken relationship with my ex-husband. I had to heal from myself as well, because now I'm not that wife anymore. I'm not that Tam anymore. So, okay, I can't go back to being that Tam. So I had to take that step on it to propel me to the Tam that I am now. Same thing with being a daughter and a mother. Like, there was some times that I know I wasn't 100% a mother, because I didn't know how to deal with being broken from, the marriage ending. So you have to take the time. You get into it, what you get out of it, what you put into it. So there should be nothing more important than yourself. That's absolute 100%, because once you start taking care of yourself and building yourself in these areas, you can recognize and you can be able to be an ally or a friend for someone you can see going through, I was in that rabbit hole a few minutes ago. Let me just offer this, but then you can also be quiet and say, well, let me know how you need me to help you. That's something that I learned. You can't just always give your help to people, because growing up, I can honestly say no one from where I came from knew like the stuff that I know now. So growing up in the South, you help everybody. You ask everybody, okay, what do you want to do? And in that, you're telling them what they should do. Now it's better to, okay, how can I help you? I'm here in whatever way you need me. And it's a difference. Like, I know it's changed a lot of relationships that I've had for the past 10, 15, 20 years, all because we all went down this growth. And I'm pretty sure we're like, okay, I don't know if they're going to understand what I'm saying. So it's amazing to see that everyone is going through this growth and they're getting out of the status quo of what they learned when they, when they grew up. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. You said
Absolutely.
things. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, you said a lot of great things. So I'm wondering if a lot of people, because you're saying that a lot of people are going through this growth, I wonder if it's because I'm assuming that your friends are probably in the same age range as you are. And
Some of them, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm wondering if we're just at that age where we're starting to hit wisdom, or middle life crisis or something of that nature, or if it's just a thing that needs to be done and it's happening, an awakening, right?
I think both,
Okay.
because I do have some friends that are younger than me, and then I have some same age or older. But I think it's a little bit of both. Is that they're this is something that needs to happen. And I will say the whole self-care, everything that has, like, in 2020, like, everybody is talking about self-care. Yeah. So I think even with that, and this was happening prior to that, even with that, people are now I think they're starting to get more in touch with themselves and realize, okay, I was going 1,000 miles per hour before COVID happened. I'm really not a good friend. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know how to be a mom when they're here we're together 24 hours a day. So yeah, hopefully a lot of growth happened in 2020 in these areas as well. So
that is so true. And I think, like you said, just being aware and being able to admit that is the first step, such as, like, I don't know how to be a mom, or dad or a friend or a daughter, right, or, a sibling. We don't know. A lot of times we don't want to admit those things. And it's powering when we can. But I want to recap some of the things that you said as you started your story and your journey with us, and I definitely appreciate that. I took some notes over here. So I noticed that one of the things that you had talked about was the emptiness.
Yes.
That is so huge. I think people I overlook. I don't even honestly think people know it's a thing until it becomes a thing in their life. You might hear someone say that, hey, I was empty, I had to let God fill me, but you don't really know what that means, what it entails, what it feels like to be filled with God versus when you were filling yourself with your own vices. So it's often overlooked until it's needed. I'm happy you heard that, though. Also, you said that, I believe moving was the start of your healing. You said that you was like, I moved. You was like, but I don't think there was, I think it was the start. It may have been. It's funny because my children and I got baptized, I think, in like 2008. And I was heavy in church, teaching Sunday school and stuff. And I do consider that part of the process of me going on this walk and building a relationship with God. But it is so, like, the very, very tip of the, like, is small. You know what I mean? Because I've came so far since then, but it definitely was part of it. So I do believe you moving across country was part of it. You continued to grow. So it was part of your you also mentioned that it takes work. I really like that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of times we overlook how much work people put into their lives when they want to have peace, when they want to have calmness. I remember when I first started Habits and Lifestyles, I would talk to people who had things like healthy marriages for 14, 15 years. And some of the things they said they did, I was looking like, oh, I know. And now I see why that's not me. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. You know what I mean? Not me. I'm out. And so also with people who have abs, I think about that as I'm eating my piece of cake. That probably won't be me, because I'm not going to that level of work just yet in my life, That's saying no to the cake. That's being very disciplined with your diet and things like that. And so I'm happy that you mentioned work, because I think people overlook that. And when I tell people, like, it's going to be work, but you always hear me say the worth it work. It's not to scare people, but it's just to know, for them to have an idea of, like, you're going to have to put some effort into this. And one of the things that I do like is that we can kind of decide how extreme or how like how much work we want to do. Like, do you really
Right.
want to go all in and get those like 100% results, or do you want to get 90% results or 80% results, etc.? And that's one of the things I like about the journey is like we kind of, to a certain extent, have some control over how that looks for us in our
Right.
lives. And then the last thing you mentioned was the people growing up. You know, a lot of times we do mimic what we see. That's why they talk about you, like not necessarily you, but people being the change for their
Right.
families, for their generations, is because we mimic what we saw growing up. And then we have the opportunity to change those things if we want to, right? Like it's
Right.
not a thing. It doesn't have to be done. You could have moved to Arizona or stayed where you were at and continued to be divorced, continue to move forward, but you chose to say, I actually want to do things differently. And so
Right.
here we are.
Yeah.
So that was it. I just recapped everything that I heard you say, and I'm happy. I believe that the listeners will take away some great nuggets from you. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we talked about this, about the
I
ending.
know.
So we talked about this. I was like, damn,
We
not
did.
answer anything, so it's gonna be awkward. So you gotta just kind of know when you're done.
I'm done. I am done.
Like, I'm done. It's early, Cheese. I'm not playing with you. Okay, I know it's so super early. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And also going on this journey with you. You are so right. We are so in sync on so many things. It could be the most things, and I'm like really grateful that she's there to see it, and I'm there to see it. So we are witness to it, because other than that, I wouldn't believe it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, we're done. We're not gonna be by Zoom 100 times.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.